You know, I was excited to declutter and unhaul like a couple days ago when all my books were on my shelves. Now that they're around me, I'm like, yeah. What's up? It is part 2 of my unhaul journey. And today we are tackling the unread books. Eek. If you didn't watch my previous videos where I stated all of my unread books, like giving you the exact numbers, go check that out if you're interested. But we are going through them. With this, obviously, I can't categorize them into 5-star or whatever because I haven't read them yet. Again, watch part 1 if you want to see all my read books being decluttered and whatnot. So this one is going to be a little harder because I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna love you or not, but I definitely have some gut reactions of, am I still interested in this? The main questions I'm going to ask myself about these books is, the first one, am I excited to read this book? And that's like the most important question, and I feel like a lot of these books I actually am not excited to read, which is interesting. You would think I would be excited to read my TBR, but some of these books are literally years and years old. I was buying books back in the day just to buy them, and it wasn't for my exact reading taste. My reading taste has grown, it's adapted, yada yada. So, first and foremost, am I excited to read this book? Would I read this book tomorrow? Am I still excited to read this book? Period. Oh, I guess question mark, because it's a question. Wow. So then I'm going to split that into 2 categories of, am I excited to read this book, and do I know nothing about this book? So that'll be mostly my donate pile, but I will also probably have a little maybe pile. Just like I have an inkling, I have like something in the back of my head telling me I'm not excited to read this tomorrow, but this book still might be good, so I want to keep it. That's the one that's probably gonna be an issue because I want to hold on to so many books for no good reason. It still baffles me that I have over 100 of some unread books. We're gonna fix that soon. Just a quick reminder about gifted books, because some of these were gifted. I am gonna be donating some gifted books because though it was gifted to me, I know that like the people who gifted it to me still love me and will understand that, like, hey, I'm gonna give this to someone who will appreciate it way more than me. So yeah, not gonna worry too much about that. And if anyone comes at my neck like, I gave this to you, then they're not really probably my close friends. Then I'm like, you don't understand what I'm doing here, ma'am, sir. I'm also secretly trying to become a minimalist, which is funny with all the books I have around me. It's like, how are you gonna be a minimalist, ma'am? More like essentialist. I only want the essential. I only want to keep the books that I want to reread. You know what I mean? Same with my clothes and my shoes. I just want only the things that I really need. I don't want clutter. And I think that's why my bookshelves have been stressing me out, because this is just clutter that I don't need. On to day 2. I'm most nervous about this. I can't believe how many books I own. I feel so privileged and honored, but overwhelmed. So we're gonna declutter, fix this. Yeah. There's no way I'm gonna be able to declutter like half of this. No way. I would be shocked if I even get like 30 books unhauled from this pile, just because there are so many books in this stack that I do really have high hopes for. A lot of the books I own I purchased because I liked a previous work of the authors. It was highly recommended, so this especially hurts. But I am one person, and even though I do read 100 or so books a year, I do also read new releases, mangas, and things like that. So this stack of books would honestly take me 4+ years to finish all of them if I only read them. So I need to be honest with myself. How many of these have I had for 4 or 5 or 6 years and I have not touched them? So yeah, I'm gonna pick up every book and see, is this a book I would read right now, or is this a book I'm indifferent about or don't even remember? And that way I can give it to people who would love it and cherish it more than me. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's do it. Okay, I actually happened to sort through pretty quickly. I do have a decent stack. I have my donate pile and then I have my questionable pile, but there are lots lots of books that I am keeping that I'm excited for, that like I have pre-ordered from authors, read their previous works, or just heard really amazing things, so I'm keeping them. So I feel like, yeah, we'll see how much I actually get rid of. But I was just going to show you really quickly. I have Otaku, which was a book that was gifted to me. I just don't have any immediate interest in reading it. Same with Blanca and Ruja, which is a story that I think is raved about. Same with The Bone Season. I just will take it from the library once I get that inkling to read it, but right now there's so many other series that are ahead of it that I'm really interested in reading. Same with The Vanishing Half. It was gifted to me, or not The Vanishing Half, The Vanishing Deep, gifted to me. Don't know when I'm gonna read it. The School for Sidekicks, a book that was on my list last time that I was kind of contemplating about it and just kept, and now I'm like, you know what, I don't need it. If I want to read a superhero book, I'm going to check out new ones that interest me more, or just read my DC Icon series, the ones that I love. This one is a sequel that a company so graciously sent to me, and I feel really bad having asked for this. Well, not asked, they were in my emails and I just said sure, but I should have said no because I haven't read it. It's a sequel. I would have to read the first book to even get to the second book, but there are literally hundreds of books ahead of it, so I'm like, I don't need it. I Am Soul, which is a poetry book that I skimmed through a couple times before, not in love with it. Watch Us Rise by Renee Watson and Ellen Hagen. I read 200 pages of this and I do think it's an interesting book. It just wasn't my favorite, not enough for me to finish it, so I'm like, give it to someone else. The End and Other Beginnings. I love Veronica Roth, but I feel like a short story, like this is a compilation of a bunch of short stories. One of the perspectives is from a character from Carve the Mark, which I loved, but all the other stories I'm like, I don't care for them. I've skimmed through them. I'm like, this one, How to Be a Boss, I'm good. I really do love Lily Singh as a YouTuber, a creator. She's very inspirational, but I don't think I need that book physically. I literally have not skimmed through it once, so I think I'm good. Winter's House, which is supposed to be a really fun middle grade. I'm sure it's fun, but again, literally hundreds of books ahead of it, and if I ever have a piqued interest to read it, I will go looking for it at my local library, supporting the libraries. Ironcast. I mean, personally, I actually haven't heard anything about this. This was gifted to me. There's Warrior of the Wind. I just haven't had an inkling to read it. If I do, I will check it out from my library. I don't think it needs to be on my bookshelves. When the Moon Was Ours, a book that was super popular a while back. I read probably like 50 pages of it. It gave me Wink Poppy and Midnight vibes, which I didn't enjoy. If a book is going to be mysterious and atmospheric, it has to have a really good punch, or else I'm like, so I just wasn't drawn to finish it. So someone else will enjoy it. I have this really pretty copy of Arabian Nights for no good reason. I think one of my friends was like getting rid of it, and I was like, I'll take it because it's pretty, but I shouldn't cheap a book just because it's pretty. Someone else might actually want it. Okay, then I have my maybe pile. I don't know. So first I have The Art of Racing in the Rain. Yeah, I think someone's soul gets trapped in a dog. It's supposed to be a classic. I don't know. I have to look up reviews of it and see if it's a classic I'll actually be interested in. Same with Famous in a Small Town by Emma Mills. There's a lot of Emma Mills books. Let me grab them actually all now. I have This Adventure Ends, Foolish Hearts, and yeah, Famous in a Small Town. All Emma Mills books. After I read First and Then by her, I fell in love and was like, let me get all her books. And then, did I read them? No. Like the smart person I am. So I kind of want to thumb through these and see if the synopsis would interest me. Famous in a Small Town, I know it is about someone who is famous in a small town. I might actually like this because I love books about people who are famous. AKA, I'm an actress. I'm not famous, but like maybe one day. So that's in my try chapter. Same with Finding Felicity. This is just a book I bought right before going to college. It gave me those dorm room college vibes, but I never read it while in college, so silly me. I have a Black Panther book, which is a middle grade, so I might like it, but I'm not sure. It might be just a fun middle grade that's endearing, but I tend to like contemporary that's more hard-hitting, and if it has some fantastical elements, like it just needs to hit a lot. You know, I have random needs and urges when it comes to contemporary, completely different from my fantasy needs. I'm just a needy bitch, let's just say that. I have Always Never Yours, which is supposed to be a story that's based off of some Shakespearean play. Their actors seemed up my alley, so let me try a chapter before I get rid of it. I think I am going to get rid of this one, Black Widow. I don't know, no inkling to keep it. I don't think I have that urge. I think I'm good. I'm up for Wrecked Girls, which I think is another book that was gifted to me. Two Sisters Stuck on an Island. I will read the first chapter, see how I feel. I have another book from Shay Earnshaw, who wrote The Wicked Deep. If you didn't watch my last video, I talked about her. Writing is beautiful and everything. I haven't read this, but I don't know if it's a story enough that I would want to keep it, and if I ever got the inkling to read it, I would just get it from my library. Sensing the theme, yes, I'm trying to tell myself that I don't need to own any of these books. I can just get them from my library, and I need to get a LA library card so that way I can take out a bunch of books. But yeah, I also have a different classic. So this is Telegraph Avenue. I want to research the reviews on this and see what people say about it because I'm very interested. And then I have Two Roads from Here. This was also giving me fangirl vibes, so I definitely think I should check out the first chapter before getting rid of it. But from the conclusive pile of books that I'm going to get rid of, let me count out and tell you how many. 15. That's not even, I feel like that's not even 10% of my book collection. That's like 5%. So we'll see. I'm like over here looking, it's like, is there other books that I want to get rid of? I might do another Passover and see if there's anything else. I do have in my stack of try a chapter, let me count, 1, 2, I have 11 in my try a chapter stack. So maybe all 11 of those will go. I will also do, yeah, another once over on these books. I'll put them on my shelves and check them out. I do also have more books that are unread that I put up, but they were the ones around my room. They are the ones that I am most excited to read. Yeah, let me do one more Passover. Gone through the last bit, and I think the only two that I meant to pull out earlier is The Poppy War. And I know, don't freak out, I am gonna read this sometime. I just want to get the orange paperback because I love color, but I'm gonna give this to my sister because I know my sister also really loves high fantasy, and she will love this on her bookshelf way more than I, because not that I don't love it, it's just I'm not gonna read this anytime soon, so I'll get it from the library when I'm ready, and if I like the series, I'm gonna buy the colorful copies to have on my shelves. And then the second one is the only book I've ever repurchased twice, where it's like I bought it once, I forgot about it, and then rebought it again. And I honestly think it's because of the cover difference, and I have a slight complaint about it. Let me grab it. This is the problem. If something's not by color, I won't be able to find it. I know it's like a light blue side. So these two are the same books, but in my eyes this looks like a light-skinned black person and this looks like a completely different girl, so I'm very confused about the marketing of this book. I think this is like a special newer release, like re-release, because it does say special Earthsinger edition, extended scenes, yada yada. So this is like a newer remake or reprint of this, but I don't know, like this is also stunning, and I'm weirded out by the fact that they look so completely different. But I think I am keeping the floppy paperback instead of the hardcover. I'm not really reliant on getting hardcovers anymore. I don't need it. Like, this was cheaper by far, and floppy, and it's a pretty color. So as soon as I read it and like it, then I'll see if I want to continue the series. I'm no longer hell-bent on getting hardcovers, so I'm just gonna add this to the stack. I do think I managed to declutter a lot. I am going to, you know, check out those last like 11 or so books that are on my maybe pile. I do think I'm more inclined to get rid of them than keep them, just because I know other people will appreciate them more. Like, if I want to read those Emma Mills books, I will just get them from my library at some point. I have so many books that are exciting to me, and geez, like I have literally like hundreds of books that I could read and also reread because I have so many favorites. But yeah, I think I might actually not organize my books as rainbow shelves, but I'm gonna do another book organization video because I'm tired. And let me just give you the numbers of what I unhauled in this video in addition to the last video, and I'll probably have a more conclusive number in the next coming videos in the try chapter, because I'm also going to see if I can get rid of a few more and get rid of, donate obviously, but yeah. But I have no reason to be buying any books. The audacity if I try and purchase a book, nah. What I'm going to do is, if I go to the library or to Barnes & Nobles, I will bring a book with me and read a book that I own. I have so many. I think my goal for the next few months is really just to read as many books as I have. I think I have like 12 audiobooks for books that I own, like Sky Hunter, the Warcross duology, allegedly, just so many. A Long Walk from Freedom, Nocturna. I hope that I can just get to these by the end of the year. I am around 70 books read for this year, so I do have 30 more books, and if I don't pick up any mangas and I only pick books that I actually physically own, I might actually put a huge dent in my TBR. I'm gonna do some number games. So let me count how many books I've unhauled so far, not including the try a chapter books. Okay, so I have 18 books that I unhauled from my unread stack today, which is way better than I thought. For some reason I thought it was not as much as that. I'm pretty shocked. And then I have a total of 33 unhauled from the last video and this video together. So I did actually manage to get rid of 30 books, which is impressive. I do have a stack of 11 books that I'm going to kind of reflect on and see, should I get rid of them, should I not? I honestly don't even have that much space on my shelves if I were to keep them. Like, obviously I can like move my mangas around a bit, but I don't have that much space. So I'm gonna try and just keep reading my TBR here, and decluttering as I read books, because again, yeah, there's so many books here. I may enjoy some, I may not enjoy some. Like, I have so many firsts in a series that I'm like, haven't read any of them, may not like the writing of it. Back in my book outlet days, I made so many mistakes, so many. Yep, so the goal is to read through as much as this is possible. Let me count and see actually how many I have left on my TBR from my last video. I had like 179. Okay, so I just won the calculator and minus 18 from 179, and that is 161. So I have 161 books on my, well actually I have 150 on my shelf now, because I still have my 11 on the side. So right now, if I get rid of all of those books, I have 150 books unread on my shelves. Let's see if I can get that number to 120. And then next year, who knows? I might get it to 20. We'll see. This is a process that's going to take a lot of time, but I'm solely doing this for myself. I want my bookshelves to reflect me and what I love. I get so excited looking at this lower half of my bookshelves that has all my 5-star books. So I kind of really want my shelves to reflect that energy. I feel like they used to, because I didn't have that many books before Book Outlet and all my crazy shopping. I'd only have very few series, like the Red Queen series, Carve the Mark. I had like the One Dark Crown or 3 Dark Crowns. I had very few, and now I do have more series, and a lot of them I do love, like An Ember in the Ashes, The Last Magician, things like that. But I do also have so many that I need to sift through, make sure I'm like, am I keeping you just because I like the author? Because I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to keep books that I just love the author. It's like, if I love the author, I'm gonna hype up the book of theirs that I like. That's what's smart. If you made it to this part of the video, leave down below this emoji so I know you are the real MVP, and I just love you so much. Let me know how your decluttering journey is going, if you have any tips for me or anything, and stay tuned for like the last part of the unhaul, and then I'm gonna do some book organization videos, so make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. Bye.